The Pittsburgh Steelers have stole an absolute freak of a tight end. Standing at 6'7", 264 pounds, the Steelers get a monster in Darnell Washington out of Georgia with the 93rd pick in the third round. So, with Darnell Washington being the pick for the Steelers in the third round, he was a guy who's supposed to go early second or even very late first and one of the best tight ends in this year's draft. But because of injury concerns with a knee issue, he fell all the way down to the Steelers in the third round. And that's a very high value pick because of how talented he is as a run blocker and also in the pass game. And that seems to be the theme of the NFL draft so far this year for the Steelers, selecting guys who have fell to them. For example, Joey Porter Jr., he was supposed to go high in the first round, but he fell all the way down to the Steelers at pick number 32. Everyone thought he would go even before the Steelers pick at 17, but he fell. Even Keanu Benton, he was supposed to be a high second round pick, but he fell to the Steelers' second pick in the second round, pick number 49, and they got a monster of a defensive tackle. And now they get a tight end who many wrote off because of injury concerns at pick number 93. And you might be wondering, number 93, that doesn't sound right. But the Steelers traded back in the third round. They gave up their pick number 80 in the third round for Carolina's pick and 93, but also picked up 132 in the fourth round. The Steelers didn't have a pick after pick 80, but because they traded back, now they get a fourth round pick and kind of bridge the gap in between the seventh round. If they didn't trade back, their next pick would have been in the seventh round where they have two, but now they get an extra pick in the fourth and get a guy that they really like. They met with him a lot, actually, and they might have not been too concerned with his injury because they did pick him at 93, and I believe that's a high value pick. He's an absolute monster of a tight end, like I said. He might even be one of the best in the draft class, next to Michael Mayer and even other guys. I believe you guys like him as well, because in my comments, after I was doing mock drafts, after I was talking about players the Steelers should be looking at, all you guys said that you want Darnell Washington at pick number 32. And now with him picking and falling all the way to 93, it's a great value pick. And also Steelers trading back, that even gives up more reason why it's a great pick. And him being a good run blocker is exactly what the Steelers have been looking for. The Steelers have obviously Pat Freiermuth and didn't need to pick a tight end, but him being a second guy with Pat Freiermuth and to help in the run game, now the Steelers have a lot of people in the trenches. The Steelers obviously have been working to build the offense line through free agency and also now in the draft, picking a guy early in the first round, but the Steelers adding a tight end in Darnell Washington, with how big he is, he's basically an extra guy on the offense line. And he can help out Pat Freiermuth a lot, because Pat Freiermuth isn't really a run blocker, he's more of a pass catcher. But now with Zach Gentry, who's more of a run blocker, and Darnell Washington, when the Steelers want to do power run game, they could do so. They added Isaac Seumalo in free agency, Nick Herbig in free agency, obviously added Broderick Jones in the draft. They've been working so hard on rebuilding the offensive line, and adding Darnell Washington just goes with the flow. One thing that Darnell Washington labeled himself is also a 6th offensive line. And because of his size, that's exactly what he is. An extension to the run game, but also a guy who's talented enough to catch the ball, run yards after catch. He did great in that in the college level and just make high contested catches because he is a tall guy as well. He's the same height as Zach Gentry. So now the Steelers have another massive tight end on the roster to go along with all their other tight ends so far, and Connor Hayward now can move to fullback because the Steelers are set at tight end. Andy Weidl, I believe, has a big part in that. Obviously, he's came over from the Eagles, and the main thing there is offense line, defense line, and he's brought that over to the Steelers. And Omar Khan so far has been so aggressive. He already made 2 trades in this year's draft. When do you ever see that with the Steelers, especially so early in the draft? He's been so aggressive and so good right now for the Steelers, taking over for Kevin Colbert in free agency, that I really applaud all the moves that he's made. Who would have thought when the draft first started that the Steelers were going to get one of the top left tackles, probably ranked number 2 in left tackles, Broderick Jones, and then get one of the top ranked cornerbacks, Joey Porter Jr., and then get one of the highest ranked defensive tackles in Keanu Benton. And now, basically the second ranked tight end in the draft, Darnell Washington, all the way pick number 93. Who would have thought this would be the Steelers draft when the draft first started? So many good players, so many great players, hopefully, in the future, and maybe even future Hall of Famers, falling into the Steelers in every round. So, Now we wait to see tomorrow who the Steelers' first selection will be at that pick 132 spot since they traded back. So, with that being said, let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about this selection? And how do you feel about day 2 altogether? Do you like the pick Joey Porter Jr.? Do you like Keanu Benton? Do you like Darnell Washington? But more in specific, since this video is about Darnell Washington, how do you feel about him in specific falling all the way to pick number 93? Do you think it's good, or do you think the Steelers should have picked someone else since they had Pat Fryermuth? Let me know down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you like Steelers content, analysis, reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post an next Steelers video. I've been covering all of free agency, and now all the draft as well. I covered every pick so far for the Steelers. All those picks I named before, I covered it all. So if you want to see all the videos I made and kind of their introduction to the Steelers, go watch it on the channel. And also, like this video as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.